and talk to you guys about how to close like a rock star copywriter. I know it's late, but I just got the funny idea to talk about this because I was thinking about it a lot today and talk to you guys about how to close like a motherfucking rock star copywriter, because I was doing a lot of work on some closes for stuff today. And I was thinking about it in all of these, what I think are kind of unique and kind of powerful ways. So how to close like a rock star copywriter. First of all, I want to go through 3 standard components of your close that you have to include. And then I want to introduce maybe a new way of thinking about closing that's going to elevate all of these components of your close. The close is when you ask for the sale, by the way. It's when you say, all right, guys, it's time for you to go ahead and buy this thing. Okay, basically that's the close. And the more explicit and specific you always are in your closes, the better they're going to be. But first, you want to think about your logical close. So the whole time you've been pitching somebody, it's all gearing up to this very logical close. You told them the problem they have. You told them how your product solves that problem. You've proved how that product solves that problem. You've even explained the stack of value that they're getting in return for the money that they're about to pay you, right? That's all the really standard logical close stuff. Hey, if you want all this awesome stuff we've been talking about, go ahead and buy. And within that logical close are our urgency and scarcity elements that give somebody the motivation to buy right then and there. And urgency and scarcity are actually 2 different things. I think sometimes they can get lumped together, but it helps you to know how different they actually are in your head when you're working on this stuff. So urgency is a reason people have to buy right now that's related to the product itself and why they need that product. Something like that rash isn't going to go away. That's urgency, right? Oh crap, I need this thing right now because my rash isn't going to go away. So think about the kind of rash, the problem that your product solves, and how your customer, your target customer, cannot go another day having this problem, right? They need your product right now. They need to solve this problem right now. That's urgency. They need relief. They need solutions. They need tools. They need all of this stuff right now. That's urgency. Scarcity is a limitation in availability of your product based on either a time constraint, 20% off for the next weekend, right? That's a time constraint. You can also do a limitation in quantity, right? Only 300 copies, only 5 spots, only 10 members, 10 invitations, whatever. All of that stuff also gets lumped into your logical close because it's all logical stuff, right? It all makes sense. That's kind of the standard basic stuff that you got to have in your arsenal before we move on. And I think that's all pretty easy. And I think most of the people who, I know are capable of all that stuff. So good for you. Now we move into your emotional closes. And this is where I wanted to talk to you about pressuring the moment. This was the thought I had today where I was like, oh man, I really got to share this with people. The close is the most important part of the entire interaction, right? It's when you're asking for the exchange of value. You got to raise this moment to its crisis, okay? You have to make it important. You got to pressure the moment. So anytime you're working through your close or you're reading a close and you don't feel this heightened emotional pressure, you don't feel that this crap is important and it matters right now, it's not a good close. So how do you, when you're writing sales copy, raise the moment to its crisis? How do you pressure the moment? You do this by explicitly and specifically saying everything that is to be both gained and lost from your product. And like I said, you're explicit in saying this. So you tell the other person, now is the moment for you to make a choice. That's how you're raising it to its crisis. You make it so that the moment they start to move their mouse or their finger up into the corner to click the X, they're not just clicking an X. They're not just Xing out. They're actually saying no to everything that they want and need and that can help them. That's an elevation, right? Now you're not just clicking that X button. You're actually telling your dreams that they can wait, that you're going to look somewhere else, that you're going to spend more time confused, that you're going to do things the harder way, that's everything that's implicated by them clicking the X button. So that's your negative emotional close, right? All of the ways that they're gonna lose out by not getting your product. And that can include more of things staying the same, right? Stagnation, not knowing what's going on. Maybe you have a good day, but then you have one bad day. Inconsistency, looking for solutions over and over, always weighing them out in your head. Do I do this? Do I do that? That's all stagnation stuff. That's one type of bad, negative emotional close. But there's also things are going to get worse. Like that rash is going to get worse, right? So what's the rash? Again, like your Facebook ads aren't going to optimize or scale themselves, right? You're going to be losing more money. You're going to be missing out on everything that you could be earning. You could be missing out on hours of your time that could be saved by this tool. And then with all of the added stress and pressure, maybe your family life suffers. Maybe you lose the desire to achieve your dreams. Maybe you just feel worse than ever before. That's raising the moment up, pressuring the moment to its crisis. Let me have a sip of water. For your positive emotional close, you're gonna do the exact same thing. Clicking that button, it's not just clicking the button and spending, $5, $10, $500, however much on a product. Let me take myself into a caveat with that. The amount of pressuring the moment you have to do does depend on your price point, right? Because there's just not that much pressure involved over spending $5 as there might be spending $500, $1,000. So for your higher ticket items, you gotta really raise the moment, even more so. This stuff that I'm talking about, getting really deep, telling people now is the time, that's all definitely stuff that you need to be implementing for your higher ticket. And then it's just only gonna make your lower end stuff fly off the shelves with even more ease. But you don't need to do it as much with a $5 product, right? But your positive, emotional, raising the moment up to its crisis. This is the moment that they're gonna get the thing that they've been looking for, okay? And when you tell them through the very act of clicking that button, you raise the moment by one, telling them the immediate gratification that they're gonna receive, okay? How good it's gonna feel that a solution is right beyond this screen. They could breathe a sigh of relief. How good it is for them to feel that your solution is completely risk-free and guaranteed. Because while you're doing all this stuff, you wanna weave in your risk reversal, you wanna weave in your value stacking, all that stuff. Right? So you remind them here how great it's gonna be to be totally taken care of, absolutely no risk. That's immediate gratification stuff. And then you can give them any matter of time frame of gratification stuff that you want or that's relevant to your product and your audience. So maybe in 24 hours, they're able to have a Shopify store online, right? That's a gratification that you're gonna give them. That's what they're gonna get. You're raising the moment. They're not just saying yes, they're not just buying something. They're gonna achieve this goal, you're gonna hand it to them, okay? And it all starts with the easy act. So easy of them just clicking that button. And then you go a little bit longer out, right? Maybe in a week, you've made your first $100 online. Maybe in a month, you've made your first $1,000 online. You want to use believable numbers that, your product is responsible for, but draw it out, right? You don't just start all the way where they're going to be 2 months down the road. It's harder to believe because they don't know the steps to get there. You haven't painted the picture. You haven't been specific. So you tell them first, you're going to feel freaking awesome to get in here. You're going to learn all this shit. Your mind's going to be blown, whatever it is. What they're going to get in a week, what they're getting in a month. And then you tell them, and all you have to do to do that is click the button. So you're pressuring the moment, but the action they have to take is actually really super easy. So they just go ahead and click. And when you do all that, and then you tell somebody to click, that's like my knife through warm butter close, right? Because they're like, oh my God, there is no other option to click. You have pressured the moment such that, it's almost, I don't want to say life or death, but it's a very important decision for them to make, and they can only really go one way when you've structured and laid everything out like this. So that's my riff on kind of the quick way to close any kind of sale, face-to-face, a script, over the phone, in your sales copy, pressuring. We take a break for a cat. Pressuring the moment, elevating the moment is how you're gonna get there. And let me know any ways that you can think of to further pressure the moment, to make it, as important as we can possibly make it, so that exiting out has so much more implication. So buying has so much more good implication. All right, I think that's all I had to say about this. Thank you so much for watching my little first desktop live video. If you liked it, I'll do more. And yeah, I'll be in touch with you guys super soon. Bye.